theoretically it didn't matter before, but now we can see that there's serious enlarging of the heart. It's gonna, if it's just been a few cases, it's gonna be very apparent if you see more heart attacks and strokes as a result of enlarged hearts. And so my recommendation would be work out first thing in the morning without taking steroids or no pills, no shots, no growth hormone, and then use everything to enhance recovery, which really is what it's about anyway, because steroids actually increase strength by making sure your body's recovered from the day before. They make you aggressive, okay? Some, not all, but some. And so those are the ones that people say they make you stronger for the workout. And it kind of does, because if you're a little bit more aggressive, then you're going to be stronger for the workout. But at the same time, that's really just aggressiveness, and that's more mental than it is physical. The physical part of strength comes from the ability to recover very quickly, and then for the following workout, the muscle becomes stronger from the workout before to the next workout. So some drugs like Anadrol, D-bol, even androgens for the sake of argument, Turinabol and Therabolin too, or Trenbolone, they would bind to the androgen receptors, creating more strength. So if you're cycling these drugs, you're going to have more strength over time. That doesn't mean you're going to have more strength right before the workout from the pill taking before the workout, but cumulatively you will get stronger every workout. So if this is the case, then why even endanger the heart with by taking a drug that's going to bind to the androgen receptors in the heart and make the heart grow, because you're putting the heart under workload, pressure, and you're making it beat harder and stronger when you lift heavier weights. It doesn't make sense. Actually, if you take steroids and growth hormone and stuff like that before the workout, really it actually affects your heart more than any other part of your body, because your heart doesn't stop beating, and where the rest of your body, if it grows outward, it's okay, but the bigger your heart gets, it's inside your chest, and although for the bigger your body is, the bigger your heart has to beat, but there's a proportion. Hearts 2 and 3 times the size of normal is not proportional, even if you are 300 pounds. That doesn't have to be that way. It could be slower without a lot of organ growth, and you could take these things into consideration. Timing of the drugs is everything. I mean, that's how you avoid side effects. So if you want side effects, high blood pressure compounded, but you take steroids before you train, it'll raise your blood pressure. You'll get a good pump. But is it good to do it all the time? I don't think so. I think sometimes if you want a little bit more boost before the workout, I mean, there is a little bit more energy and stuff like that from some steroids. But again, you also want to make sure that you're taking your orals with a large amount of fat, because that's what buffers it, and also good fats, omega-3s in particular. So that's a new one. Yeah, take your orals with omega-3s. If you're not doing it, get on the ball, save your liver. Your liver will thank you.
Why?
Why? Because the body, when you take steroids, it uses good cholesterol, and it uses good fats, including omegas. And it sucks those out of you while basically creating like a net or a glue to trap LDL, bad cholesterol, in you. And so the more you keep eating shittier food, or even just meat in general, it acts like a glue, increases the LDL. And that's bad. And the ratios, when they're bad, that's even worse. So if you take your orals with omega-3s, you lessen the damage that you do on the overall body from a lack of good fats, because that's what steroids do when they're being processed. They deplete you of your good fats. It's not just steroids. It's just because when people take steroids, they're taking exogenous amounts from, for your own body, for your own natural hormonal production. Your body's natural hormones use these good fatty acids, omega-3s, omega-6s, fatty acids. And so if you're natural and you don't eat these things, then your own hormones won't work that well. I've had a client that came to me after working with a very prominent trainer. I mean, very, very prominent trainer. And he knows his stuff. I'm not really sure why this fell through the cracks, but sometimes I guess these do when the client wants an extreme conditioning. And this client was natural at that point, and his diet that he reiterated to me was very, very low in fat. It was so low in fat that it affected his natural hormonal level. His testosterone crashed as a result of the contest dieting. He looked horrible, which is, I mean, there's a different way to train a natural bodybuilder than there is to train a bodybuilder on gear. And you can't put them through the type of workouts that are going to just deplete them that bad. And you really have to just trick glycogen towards the end and pull the water in, because if they have an unhealthy level of fat, then they're going to feel so shitty that they won't really be able to perform well. Now, if you know how to manipulate water, you can get them to look like they're leaner when they actually could have a healthier amount of fat, allowing them to perform somewhat better than somebody who just really feels like they just can't even wake up. And that's what happens when your hormones take a beating if you're natural. If you're not natural, you just keep upping and upping the dose, because whatever dose you took doesn't work, because there's nothing in your body for it to bind to. It doesn't bind, it just goes in and goes out, goes in and goes out. And as it goes in and goes out, it keeps raising your LDL higher and higher and higher. Which is why a lot of people have a lot of issues when they get off. Unfortunately, too many people don't test themselves enough while they're on to see where their cholesterol is at, because there are things you can do to lower your cholesterol even while you're on. Number one would be just go on a vegan diet for a little while. That would be the main way to lower cholesterol while actually on steroids.